So we now know the 24 teams that will participate at the next Africa Cup of Nations. It's been a thrilling qualification process. We've covered it from start to finish on this channel. What a journey it's been. Some interesting usual suspects. The majority of the nations that have qualified, you can see, have been at the previous AFCON, at AFCON 2021. 17 of the 24 teams that have qualified for this AFCON were also present at the last AFCON. The good news for Algeria is Sierra Leone, who we played in the first game last time and didn't score, drew the game, they haven't qualified, so we can't get them again for sure, 100%. But 17 returning nations, that's quite high, particularly in a process where it's not 16 that qualify, it's 24 that qualify. To have 17 come back, it's quite impressive. That is your core African nations there, really. Your likes of Mauritania now, Guinea-Bissau establishing themselves, Cape Verde, Equatorial Guinea, Gambia back again. And then you've got your sort of usual suspects, you know, the big four from North Africa, Ivory Coast as host, Senegal, Cameroon, Mali, Nigeria, Guinea, all that good stuff. So, returning nations, we've got 7. You've got Tanzania, DR Congo, Namibia, South Africa and Angola. Those 5 weren't at the AFCON in Cameroon, but all 5 of those, interestingly, were at the AFCON in 2019 in Egypt. That Algeria won, of course. Is that a good sign? Of course, Algeria had Tanzania in the group stage of AFCON 2019. We had them in the group stage of these qualifiers, and we could get them in the group stage again, although I think the Tanzania now are a little bit better than the Tanzania Algeria beat a few years ago. So DR Congo, good to have back after 4 years out. South Africa as well. Namibia, 4 years back in. And Angola, a big nation, also back in after 4 years out. You've got Zambia. It's been a while, 8 years. Zambia, 2015, the last AFCON that they went to. Of course, they won it with Hervé Renard around a decade ago. Been 2015 since Zambia were at an AFCON. They are back in town, and Pat Sandake will be leading that line. Be interesting to see how Zambia get on. And Mozambique, not at AFCON since 2010. The 13-year wait is over. Mozambique returning to the Africa Cup of Nations. So you will see there, interestingly, quite a few Portuguese colonies. You've got Mozambique, Angola returning, and then you've got the likes of Guinea-Bissau and Cape Verde in there. So I think, like I said, that influx of Portuguese-born players is helping those sides a lot. And a lot of the players that have scored the goals for these teams in qualifying do play in Portugal. So interesting to see how that develops. So that is the lineup. 17 returning nations, and then you've got the 7 who have been AFCONs. In the past 13 years have been an AFCON. There's no debutants here, essentially. Central African Republic would have been a debutant. They got close, just couldn't see it out against Ghana. So if we look at who I think, well, where do I think these teams rank? I know people probably want to see pot seeding, who we can play in the group stage. The draw's next month. We'll wait for the next FIFA ranking. Then we can look at the pots, because it could still change slightly. So we don't want to get that wrong. Now, who are the favourites? I think you've got your bog standard 3. You've got Ivory Coast as hosts. Every host has pretty much got to be a favourite. Look at last time. Cameroon host came 3rd. Ivory Coast, with the quality of player they have to be considered the favourite. You've got Senegal also, reigning champions, still very strong despite them losing to Algeria. But that's like, you know, death taxes and Algeria beating Senegal, that's quite normal. And Morocco I put there. I think if they do get, well, they did get to a World Cup semi-final, you have to consider Morocco as a favourite. If they can beat, I mean, Spain, Portugal, Belgium, you'd like to think they could beat Cape Verde, Angola and Mozambique. But it never works out like that. So I think, even like the bookies, as they say in England, they'll have Senegal, Ivory Coast and Morocco front runners. It never works like this. When Algeria have been a favourite, and you see I haven't got Algeria as a favourite at this moment in time, it's never worked out. 2015 AFCON, we were a favourite off the back of the Brazil World Cup, out in the quarterfinals. The last AFCON, Algeria were huge favourites, running in as reigning champions, out in the bloody group phase, bottom. So don't be mad. Algeria as a contender doesn't mean they can't win it, and we should be in pot 1 after all. So we are a contender. I think Nigeria are a contender. You look at the goals they scored in qualifying, the top scorers, Osimhen scoring for fun, Awoniyi, Chukwueze, they've got a good side. Iwobi, trust me, that Nigeria side, they get their act together off the pitch. They'll be very, very good on the pitch. You've got Egypt. You just can't rule Egypt out. I don't care what Egypt it is, okay? They won the bloody thing 7 times, more than anyone else. They've got Mohamed Salah, still arguably the best player on the continent. They've got Marmoush up there as well. I think they've got a good side, and they've got Mustafa Mohamed up front playing for Nantes. So I think Egypt are going to contend. People forget there were a couple of penalty kicks from winning the last AFCON. So do not sleep on Egypt. Ghana, If Chris Hughton can get that side going, you've far too much quality with Inaki Williams coming in. Still the Ayer brothers, but look, Kudus at West Ham, Inaki, they've got good players there. If Lamptey can bomb on from right back, Thomas Partey, if he's fit in the middle, they've got a good side. They've just got to get their goalkeeper sorted for me, and they can contend. Ghana are not going to go out in the group stage again like Algeria last time. They're not going to lose to Comoros again, mainly because Comoros aren't here again, but still. And Mali, I think, will contend now. I think Mali is slowly getting more people's respect. They're not really an underdog or a dark horse now. I think there's a bit of expectation on Mali to perform. They've got a good team, they've got a good core they've kept together for a few years now, the likes of Doumbia, Haidara, Bissouma in the middle. They've got a good side. I expect Mali to go far in the tournament. Dark horses, these teams could also win it, but no one expects them to win it. Like Burkina Faso could do it, they've got the players to do it, but no one expects them to. The same with Cameroon. Anana could keep clean sheet after clean sheet. I think Anana's going to be key. They had to get him back. Don't care if United fans are crying. That team, I don't think, would have qualified without Anana. I mean, look, even at the World Cup, the games against Algeria, they wouldn't have qualified for that without Anana. And up top, Abubakar, Choupo-Moting and Buemo. They've got good players, man. They could do it. Tunisia are a dark horse. I don't know, they always find themselves in the latter stages of AFCONs, but no one's got a bloody clue how or why or when. They're just there. So you can't rule them out. DR Congo, they got to turn up. They weren't even at the last AFCON. The 2019 one, they lose to Madagascar on penalties. Should have beaten them in normal time, even though they equalised late on. But they've got enough quality there. Back on Boo, they could do something. They could do something. As a dark horse, people might underestimate them as well. It'll be interesting to see if Algeria do play DR Congo next month in a friendly. Guinea have got a good team. Girassi there up top alike. Moriba in the middle. They've got players that can harm people. Diakabi at the back. Not as good as Mali's players, I would say, but they're a dark horse. They're much better than when Algeria beat them 3-0 in the last 16 4 years ago. And Zambia back as a dark horse. I mean, they were a dark horse and won it, weren't they, with Hervé Renard? They're probably even less than that when they won it back in 2012. No one expected Zambia to win. But with Patson Daka, I think he can score against anyone. He shouldn't be at the Championship in Leicester. He tried to go to Bournemouth, I think, on deadline day. That move didn't materialise. Now, the next 10 teams, I don't expect to win it, but there's still a bit of a way of separating them. You've got your outsiders, like luck of the draw, luck in the games, bit of luck in refereeing decisions, who knows. Like Angola, Cape Verde. Cape Verde got out of the group last time. Angola have got good players, more good than people think. Gambia, quarterfinals last time. Guinea-Bissau got to get out of the group this time. I think last time they had Nigeria and Egypt. That's not easy. But again, South Africa as well. Didn't they beat Egypt 2019 AFCON? Did Algeria a huge favour and then narrowly lost in the quarters, I think, to Nigeria. They've got an outside chance. Those five have got an outside chance. And then, literally no chance, Equatorial Guinea. Just look how strong Africa is. I put them a no chance. They beat Algeria last AFCON. They made the quarterfinals. And they lost to the champions in Senegal. And they equalised at some point, didn't they? Mauritania, for me, no chance. Mozambique, no chance. Tanzania, no chance. Namibia, no chance. So that's the 24. Now, the draw, I think, is on October 12 in Abidjan. We look forward to that. When we get the pots, we'll look at how this can pan out. That's how it's shaping up. I'm buzzing. If you're buzzing too, drop a like. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.